us from you, working in Brooklyn.
Oh, I was in
To
Brooklyn.
this.
No, well, I'm just tickled by the story. I was the kid in South Georgia in a town with one traffic light that stumbled upon Annie Hall one day on television and was like, I want to go there. So I knew I wanted to go to New York, and I had the good fortune of actually waiting tables, and an agent's assistant came in, and we just started talking. And she said, do you have any tape? Because she said, are you an actress? I said, right now I'm your waitress. Because that is a very tricky question when you're at that stage in your life. You're not sure how to sort of hold court for yourself. And she started talking to me, and I had done a short film when I was in college that had gone to the Hamptons Film Festival, and I was very proud of it. And ironically, the woman she worked for had been to that Hamptons Film Festival and seen that short film. And I sent the tape to this very kind woman who was her assistant, and she showed it to her, and she said, hey, there's that girl. And so the first audition I got for Woody Allen. And no kidding, I met Juliet Taylor, who's one of the poobahs in, our world, and I'd gone in, and I was green as a gourd. I had no idea, except that I loved my job, I loved what I did, and I knew what I wanted. And I read a generic scene, as you can often do with very prolific writers, where you have no idea what you're there for or why you're there, but you know that it's for Woody Allen. And so I went in and I did it, and then a few days later, I had to go out of town, and they said, Woody Allen wants to meet you. And I was like, but I have a flight to catch. Like, I didn't know. I was like, but I have to get on a plane. I'm supposed to go to Chicago. I need to get on the plane. They said, Woody Allen wants to meet you. I said, okay, I'll be there. And go catch my plane. And I went in, and I remember, I'd read all these stories, and I'd had the good fortune. I'd actually met Sam Rockwell, Tony's directed, and a friend of ours said, Sam worked for Woody. So I was like, what was your experience when you auditioned? All this stuff started happening very quickly for me, and I read everything I could about what Woody Allen did in an audition process. And I literally heard a story about how a woman walked into this building where Woody meets everyone, and stood on the stairwell and was talking to Juliet, and Woody walked by and said, hello, nice to meet you, and that was the audition. So that, you don't know what you're going to get with him, and that continues, because you don't get a script unless you were the two leads, and I was not in this process. So the whole time I had no idea, which is probably why I do all right with you, because I started out that way, where you don't, it's a leap of faith every day. But I went, I met him, I caught my flight, and I got the part, and it was one of those things where you're literally on set. Again, you don't have a backstory, but you know that as this little girl in Georgia, you're suddenly sitting there and Woody Allen is giving you some dialogue, and you're just showing up and you're living in every breathing second of it. It was great.
So what happened in the room? You're in the room with
In the room with Woody Allen. Honestly, it was so dark. It was like kind of looking out at you guys because you can't see anything right now. There's a little bit of form. And I walked in, and he's a very tall man, as we've all seen. He made me feel tall. And we walked in, and he was like, it's very nice to meet you. It's very nice to meet you. And I walked, and I sat in the chair, and this was a scene that I had read before, and I was so grateful for that because I had no idea what it was going to be. And I remember, I'm sitting there, I'm reading with her, she's right there, and I see this happening, like peripherally. It's him pacing. And I know what it is, and I know that I'm supposed to be completely focused and present with the person I'm in the scene with, and all I'm thinking is, it's Woody Allen, he's pacing now. Like that whole thing that you're really just trying to be in the moment with the person you're with, but you're the kid from Georgia at the end of the day who gets paid to do this now. And in that moment, I wasn't even paid yet, but I was that smart in front of Woody Allen. And that was it. And then, you get the call, and those moments they never leave you. They never leave you, and they're the stuff that dreams are made of. So I rallied for you, and the fact that this is your entree, because it never leaves you. It's really great, these opportunities, and that was my beginning. And I've been fortunate to be a working actor ever since, and there are all kinds of ways and incarnations that happens. And I hope that when I'm one of these people in my older years, I get to say, hey, I'm a part of this business still, and I do believe that's true. I think that's sort of a commonality on the stage. I've seen so many different versions of all these actors, And to speak to what you were saying earlier, there is something so exceptional about living with a character for years at a time. And it is something you don't see every day anymore. Television doesn't necessarily work that way. And art has changed so much. When we started out, our first season was a writer's strike. I mean, that was a remarkable time to come into this business for me, really fully come into it. And the fact that we're still around doing what we love and that we have this unit where we work that is just so fluid and so fun. And we still have fun. And it's 5 years of playing Charlotte King, and I still am learning who she is every time I get a script. Like, that is remarkable. And that is something I'm very grateful that we get to sit up here and celebrate, and I wish the same for you. So what do you got next?
That was again an Academy Supply question. I have to say, we unearthed some very interesting information here from that.
Yeah,
Very cool. Getting a lot of love on Twitter for you guys right now. Everything from so great to see how much they all enjoy their work, such wisdom and passion, to how is Ellen so perfect, how is Catherine's hair so perfect, don't compare to me. I'm pretty sure that's a no. We only have 5 minutes left, and I just wanted to, well, actually we only have 1 minute left. But the question that's still being thrown at, please go back. Can you give us anything on Meredith and Derek and Charlotte and Cooper?
I haven't seen the final 2 episodes, so I really honestly do not know what happens in the season finale.
So don't ask her, dear.
I know that Shonda usually writes the finale,
Writing the finale.
which it's going to be good no matter what it is, so who cares? It's just me.
Do you have in mind how you would like, in the end, to either one of you, how you would like Meredith and Derek to end up?
No, I mean, I always say this, people always ask this question, and honestly, I have no control over what the story is, so I can't have expectations, because then you're setting yourself up for frustration and failure. So, it works for me to just trust that it's going to be, I know it's going to be good, trust that it's something that I feel like I can do well, and I have to be up for the challenge, whatever it is. You gotta, whatever, pitch you get thrown, you gotta find a way to hit it, so.
Charlotte, Cooper, can you say anything? Some happiness for everyone?
I think that, they're going through a huge transition right now for those two. I think I said earlier that Charlotte King's on her way to figuring out how to be a mother. And I think that's a really profound change, and it's a really profound change from, think about how Charlotte and Cooper began. There were 2 people who met, had a lot of strange and interesting sex, wore a lot of kinky outfits.
Oh my God. Cake frosting, for God's
The cake
sake.
frosting outfit, I have a picture of that, so it's one of those moments where I was like, I can't believe we just did this and got away with it. But they've really grown, and I feel like, I think Meredith and Derek have really grown. We've seen these people grow together in ways that are really, really interesting. I know it's interesting, Meredith, really became a mother this year. That's sort of a running theme that I've got going, I guess. But they're going in really beautiful places. I don't want to tell too much. I don't want to give too much away.
What I would like to tell everyone is to make sure to watch Scandal on Thursday. By the 3rd episode, you are going to be completely obsessed with the show. It is absolutely fantastic. I know we'll be seeing a lot more of you. And congratulations to you. And thank you all for being here tonight.
We are airing after A Brand New Grave,
Yes.
which comes right before us, and then on the 17th, A Brand New Practice.
Yes. So tune in for all of that. And thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it.